Bakersfield is known for their dust storms and for their fog. Now, they hadn't had very many dust storms or fog until I randomly arrived, because I went through like 5 or 6 dust storms, and the dust storms are really, you have to be inside because it kicks up these spurs from long time ago. This is what I learned. There are shark spurs in the dust, and if it gets inside you, it can make you really, really sick. And so when dust storms come and it's kicked up, if you breathe this in, you could get really, really sick. And so whenever there was a dust storm, we would be told to go inside. And I remember there were several times where we kind of just spent the whole day inside. Super boring as a missionary. You don't like doing that because there's nothing to do. But yeah, so you really have to be careful with the dust storms. And then also the fog during the winter seasons. Not really winter because it doesn't snow or anything. But it just happened once. It was around Christmas time. But we woke up one morning and we walked outside. We couldn't see our car. Our car was right there in front of our apartment. We couldn't see it at all. Put my hand out in front of me, like, can't see your hand at all. Crazy fog. And it was a Sunday morning, and so we had to go to church, and we were gonna go pick up some investigators, but that kind of didn't work because this crazy fog, you can't see anything. So yeah, that was insane and really scary to drive in. People ate a lot of chicken. I love Mexican food. There's a lot of Mexican people there. So just tons of different Mexican food. Like, it was just all really, really good. I didn't have really bad experiences food-wise. I love a lot of different foods, but yeah, the Mexican food was definitely my favorite, and we had that quite a bit. Never judge a book by its cover. I thought I had kind of learned that. But, you know, you walk up to people, and there were a lot of homeless people, and I learned a lot from the homeless people. They didn't look nice at all. Obviously, they're homeless. But I learned a lot about love and a lot about Christ-like love that you could feel for people. I was so excited to feel that. And I mean, the moment I got my mission call, I loved the California Bakersfield mission people. Yeah, that, and also complete obedience. If you're completely obedient in all that you do, you have nothing to regret. And that's something that I've had to take from after my mission. It's something I've had to learn from. But it was definitely a lesson that I was taught in my mission. That, and if they were non-denominational like I used to be, they looked at me like I was completely crazy. Like, how dare you go from non-denominational to Mormonism? Like, the non-denominational church don't really like Mormons, especially here in Utah. And so they do a lot of they teach you a lot of anti-things about the LDS church. And so when I was in Bakersfield, I would kind of tell people, you know, like, I used to be you, and now I'm a Mormon. And they would look at me and like, you're insane. And I had a lot of people tell me that I was brainwashed and that I was completely out of my mind. And I had to go and pray about the Book of Mormon all over again, because they would put doubt in my mind and confuse me. And I really learned over time that you can't egg them on. If you try to explain yourself, the spirit is not there. I mean, you can say, this is what works for me, and I know that this is true, and I'm sorry that you disagree. You know, you can say those things, but really you can't sit there you can't Bible bash with someone. You just can't. I mean, it takes the Spirit away completely. And I learned that the hard way a few times. But over the course of my mission, I learned that the Spirit's not there. You just need to excuse yourself. Wish them a good day, and then go in your car and pray for them, because they need it. They need the Spirit in their lives. And if they're that upset about a little choice that someone else makes, then they need the Spirit in their life a little more. I miss a lot of the people. They are just good, genuine, nice, loving people. There have been a few families that have moved here to Utah since, and I love it because I get to hang out with them and be with them. I just love the people there. I miss them a lot, and every time I get to go back, I've got to go back twice because it's so close, and I love that. They welcome you with open arms, and they just love you. They love the missionaries there. Every member loves the missionaries, and you get fed a ton, so you're gonna gain weight. I gained a good 15 pounds. It was great. But yeah, probably just the people. When I went to my second area, it was so amazing because the members there were so in tune with missionary work. And there was this one member, Sister Livingston. She is adorable. She's so cute. She just loved us so much. She invited one of her friends, Patricia, to listen to the discussions. And I remember that she just wanted us to kind of meet her before we taught her like a lesson. So she invited us over for dinner, and she invited Patricia over for dinner. And I was just kind of sharing my testimony, and I just felt complete love for her. Patricia was she was a mother. She was married. She was living with some family, and she was just kind of lost, and she felt the love that we had for her. And I was so grateful for that opportunity to be able to do that with a member there. So that was one of my favorite member present lessons. Another really good story is that same area. I was training at the time. So the sister I was training, her and I, we were trying to get to know the ward because we had whitewashed the ward. So I knew nothing about the area. Obviously, my little trainee didn't know anything about the area. And so we just kind of were going around. And while we were trying to meet people, we got this phone call from this girl named Lisa. And Lisa had seen, I guess her mom and her sister were members of the church, but Lisa was never interested in the church. But she saw our card on the fridge, just a little pass-along card, and she just decided to call us, and she wanted some advice on something. And so we went over to her house, and I love Lisa so much. She's such a cute, funny person. We started teaching her. We had given her the advice that she desired, and it was I don't even remember now what it was, but it was a good discussion that we had. But Lisa struggled a lot, and I remember a particular lesson that we had with her. She was when she said her first prayer. I love hearing people's first prayer. It's such a spiritual moment. When you finally kind of discuss what you need to say and kind of teach them how to pray. And you're like, okay, we're going to kneel and you're going to say the prayer. And she was so nervous, as most people are. And she kind of was like, Sister Stringham, how do I start? I was like, okay, dear Heavenly Father, And as soon as she said, Dear Heavenly Father, she started crying, just sobbing. And just thinking of the memory is going to bring tears to my eyes. But it was such a beautiful experience. She was talking to her Heavenly Father for the first time in her life. And to feel the Spirit, it was tangible, was a beautiful, wonderful experience. And I'm so grateful for the chance that I had to be there with her. And after she said amen, we just sat there. It could have been maybe 10 minutes. But it was such a beautiful experience. And I'm so grateful for that. This was a really cool experience. I was with my trainer. I had been out maybe a couple weeks. We were just knocking doors. We didn't have anything to do. But we were thinking of leaving this one area. But my trainer turned to me and she was like, okay, we're going to go to one more house and you're going to choose which house we're going to go to. Has there been any house? I was like, yes, that one. It was right across the street. We hadn't knocked or anything. So we went and we knocked on the door. And we started with our whole spiel of, we're the missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and we're here to share a message about Jesus Christ. And it was a young mother. She was 16. She had just had a baby, and she just started crying. She's like, I've been praying for you guys. Like, I've needed you. I've wanted to see, I've wanted to have a relationship with God and all this. And she just started crying, and we started crying, and because it was exactly, the Spirit just led us right to her. Now, unfortunately, that didn't turn out. We tried to go back a few times, but she never answered the door again. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe her mom or someone wasn't into us teaching her. But I remember just following the Spirit and going with that choice led to her getting the opportunity to hear about the restoration of the gospel. And who knows, maybe someone else will come down the line, some other missionary sometime, and help her. But it was cool. It was a cool experience. So we would get referrals on our cell phone from someone that would either want referrals, like someone to go to their friend. They would just send it online and it would come through our cell phones. And so we got this one. Her name's Neva. She is a 90-year-old woman. Maybe she's a little older now. She's in her 90s. But she's so cute. So we knocked on the door, and it took her a little bit to answer the door. So we kind of just sat there, but we can kind of hear someone moving inside. She finally came, and she's like, oh, missionaries! Like, oh my gosh, come in. And my companion and I were so excited because most referrals, they're like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, get away from me. She's like, I'm so excited, I want to talk to you. And she just brought us in, and she just started talking our ear off. And we're like, what is this? Like, so we're like, Neva, like, we understand that you love us and you're really excited to get to know us, but like, did you talk to someone about talking about the missionaries, or was it just like, what happened there? And she's like, oh, no, like, I found it online and I totally sent a referral for myself. And we're like, sweet, this 90-year-old woman just went online and sent a referral for herself. Like, she was the cutest old lady. She loved us so much. We would go over and help her all the time. It was just the best experience. She's so cute. I love her so much. The craziest thing that I ran into a lot of Filipino people. And so I would have like random Filipino dishes. And this one, I'm almost certain, I don't know how they prepared it, no idea, but they I'm pretty sure they pluck the chicken and then they just chop it all up. Like, I saw an eyeball in, and then they put it over rice. So I saw like an eyeball. I'm pretty sure there was some tongue, maybe a little piece of brain. I'm not sure. I kind of just shoved it down because I didn't want to be rude. and I drank a ton of lemonade. It wasn't too bad taste-wise. I'm just a huge texture person, and so I couldn't, nope. It was rough.